which is just, it's wild to think. So now that I'm here in this position where I'm not like that, very, very far from that situation, and back in 2018, now that things are okay and now I'm actually benefiting off of those bad times now in 2024, now I actually want to build upon good times when I'm in good times. So now that things are, sort of stable, trying to build more tracks. So what I did is I locked in. I got a bunch of publishers, I hit them all up, and I was like, what do you guys need? I also, this is for the places that I had relationships with. What do you guys need in terms of music? Then I went back onto their websites and I searched around just to see what they have and what they don't have, what they don't really mess around with, but what they do, but what I can sort of twist to make something, make a whole new genre, if you will, just so I can get an album that stands out. I looked at some of these libraries and they've got so many tracks on them. They've got hundreds of thousands of songs. How do I make mine stand out? Mix genres, sure, but mix feelings, yeah, maybe not so much mixed feelings, but I can take certain sounds and just squish them together. Should they work out, obviously you stand all the way out, which is great. So I locked in for, must have been about 4 or 5 months, and I pushed out a lot of work and just sent it out. And now it's not to say that now I know it's guaranteed that things are going to go well for me, but now there is a blueprint or a pathway to making this happen. I've already seen proof of concept already back in like 2015. I've seen big payouts come through, which is amazing. And I know now, based on what's going on and the fact that all these tracks are still playing on TV, like I can turn on the TV now. If you give me about an hour, I should be able to find one of my tracks, which is crazy to say. But that's what it's come to, is that much music moving around where I hear my stuff often. It's a long story, it has taken a long time, and I think that it could have been more condensed had I been more focused, or had I seen a proof of concept a little bit earlier on. I can only imagine what would have happened if I had this light bulb moment back in 2018, continued making music until now in the way that I should have been, because I stopped for a while, and that really slows down the progress. So if you are someone who's trying to get into sync licensing, you're wondering whether or not it's still lucrative, is it something where you can still make a lot of money, I would say that just based on data, it makes sense to have a catalog. Whether or not you put it, you make it available to music publishers to try and get them to sync your work, or whatever the case is. Having a catalog is important. Having a body of work is important. Having 2 or 3 songs that you work on for an entire year, for as much as you might feel like you're a perfectionist and you want to work on a song for a very long period of time before you feel comfortable with it coming out, that's 3 opportunities that you've made for yourself. Whereas if you are able to work efficiently, I won't say quickly, but work efficiently and understand your tools, understand your craft, which sometimes does take a lot of practice, can take many years of practice. If you're able to do that and possibly even work with people who are able to go back and forth with you and say, actually, this track is good to go, let's let it go out, and then get on to more work, then you make more opportunities for yourself to succeed. People talk about being prolific, and people say, oh no, you must make lots of music, but other people are like, no, you shouldn't, you should actually just focus on a few tracks. I'm sort of in between those, where I feel like if you know your craft well enough, you should be able to work quick enough. And I've used the word quick because then you actually then are able to churn out a lot more music that's of a very high quality, very high caliber. And that's where you really start to find your sweet spots, because now you get to experiment in all of this chaos. You're making a lot of music and you're just putting tracks out. I've heard of Tupac talking about how he just wants to get into studio and record. I've heard about various painters, composers from back in the day that spent a lot of time just in creation mode, creating different sounds and then putting them out, seeing how they react. And for the most part, you can do that. You don't necessarily have to put it out to the world, though. You can send it to a publisher. They have their ear to the ground. They can become an extension of you. Having a good publisher means they're an extension of you, meaning you can stay in your lab and you can create all the music that you want to, send it through to them, let them listen to it, let them sort of figure out how they're going to get it placed for you, so that you can stay in the lab and they can then go out and get your music placed. That for me is the ultimate relationship between a composer and a publisher. And then obviously there's other things that they can do for you, like collaborations with various artists, finding briefs for you, which is a whole other world that you can get into that can be quite lucrative. And you build your career based on that. If you look at where money moves in the music industry, this is one of those areas where money moves really well. you can make quite a bit of cash.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you need any extra resources, just have a look in my description. You'll find my ebooks, you'll find my blog, my WhatsApp channel, as well as the other social medias that you can follow me on. Peace.